President Biden is able to make a deal to get WNBA star Brittney Griner out of evil Russia, while President Zelensky is named Person of the Year while persecuting Christians. The big picture on that in Kristi Leigh's Daily Brief. Plus, a Democrat is under investigation by the House Ethics Committee, while Republicans squabble over leadership roles. And Ivermectin does not work. And to prove it, the FDA is pointing to studies that show it does. Starting today with the release of Olympic gold medalist Brittney Griner. She's been detained in Russia for months after customs officials say they found vape canisters with cannabis oil in her luggage. The Biden administration agreed to a swap. For Griner, they're returning a Russian arms dealer, once nicknamed the Merchant of Death, according to Newsmax. There were negotiations in play to get Paul Whelan, a Marine veteran, home as well. He's been in Russia for 4 years on espionage charges the U.S. government says are baseless. So to be clear, he's been left behind again, while a star basketball player who's been detained for months gets to come home. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is named Time's Person of the Year, bringing the media's love affair with him full circle. He's been painted as a freedom warrior, but do his actions reflect that? Zelensky has been in battle with freedom of the press and now freedom of religion.
Over the past year, Zelensky has banned opposition parties. He shut down critical media by force. He's arrested his political opponents. He has sent soldiers into churches. Zelensky's secret police have raided monasteries across Ukraine, even a convent full of nuns, and arrested dozens of priests for no justifiable reason whatsoever and in clear violation of the Ukrainian constitution, which no longer matters. And in the face of this, the Biden administration has said nothing, not one word. Instead, they just continued to push to send Zelensky more tax dollars. Last week, he announced his plan to ban an entire religion, the Ukrainian Orthodox Church, and to seize its property.
The National Security and Defense Council instructed the government to submit to the Verkhovna Rada a draft law on making it impossible for religious organizations affiliated with centers of influence in the Russian Federation to operate in Ukraine.
A free country does not ban a major religion just because it's not fully on board with the political program of the people running the country. But Zelensky's doing that, and his cabinet is now devising ways to punish Christians for practicing their banned ancient religion in Ukraine. Quote, personal, economic, and restrictive sanctions will be applied to any Christian caught worshiping in unapproved ways.
Rep. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is under investigation by the House Ethics Committee, according to Breitbart. The committee released a statement on the investigation on Wednesday, but it doesn't specify why AOC is being investigated. There is speculation that it has something to do with her attendance at the Met Gala last year. Multiple ethics watchdog organizations filed complaints arguing AOC received an impermissible gift to attend 2021's Met Gala. Tickets range from $35,000 to $50,000, and she did not pay. The committee's statement notes an investigation does not itself indicate that any violation has occurred. On the Republican side, there is a tug of war over leadership. All eyes on the House now that Warnock has secured his win in Georgia. Biggs and Gates continue to spearhead mutiny against establishment-backed McCarthy, according to the National File. Arizona Representative Andy Biggs says Kevin McCarthy does not have the votes to win.
All due respect, has been there for 6 years, and he has not changed the status quo. He has continued on where we sit there and we were saying, well, where are we going? Who's going to fight? Did you fight for the last 2 years or even the last 4 years against the Biden administration? I mean, he's the one who just said that that's what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to fight. Well, what did you do to fight against the Biden administration? That becomes the question. That is the issue.
Florida Rep. Matt Gaetz is dismissing concerns that Democrats could elect the next Speaker of the House and says Republicans are ready to get more aggressive.
Sometimes you got to get in the fight. And I see how our people feel let down by the folks who just play the game the same way. I'm tired of watching Washington just serve as a geography where both sides are fighting over who gets to be the valet for the special interests. And you know what? This this slim majority was disappointing to many,
Yeah.
but it may give us an opportunity that even a large majority wouldn't have presented to actually upset the apple cart, to drain the swamp, and to not trust the biggest alligators there to do it.
The election for the next Speaker of the House will take place on January 3rd. The FDA says a drug called Ivermectin does not work against COVID-19, but links to studies that show it does. An Epoch Times review has found. It says half of the studies to which the FDA points to in making its recommendation against the drug actually support using it against COVID-19. Among the papers is a randomized, blinded, controlled trial that found people who received ivermectin and doxycycline, an antibiotic, recovered faster than those who received a placebo. Dr. Pierre Corey, who frequently prescribes ivermectin for COVID-19 and co-authored a study, says the government's position on ivermectin is one of the most glaring examples of the corruption of modern evidence-based medicine. Today's takeaways. A WNBA star is coming home from Russia. We just had to trade a merchant of death and leave a Marine vet behind. Zelensky is named Person of the Year as he uses his authoritarian control to fight free speech and ban a major religion. AOC is facing an ethics investigation, while moderate and aggressive Republicans battle over leadership. And ivermectin does not work. Come on, just review all the studies that show it does. To learn more, be sure to go to AmericanFaith.com and subscribe to our daily newsletter. For American Faith, news you can trust, I'm Kristi Leigh.